Welcome back, my fellow comic book friends, to Comic Casper. This is another comic book haul, and it's been a while, I know, and that's probably a good thing because not having these comic book hauls has allowed me to save a little bit of money. But don't be fooled, this is a massive comic book haul. I'm actually surrounded by comic books from the left, from the right, and that's because these are the ones that have come in all the way back from Christmas last year, December 2023, all the way through to now in February 2024. So I've stacked them up and I'm here to share these with you today. So let's kick it. First one I've got here is Swamp Thing, the Absolute Edition. Now this one is done by Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson. As for Swamp Thing, I have zero knowledge of the character. All I know, it's a swamp looking thing. And I did hear that the Alan Moore collected editions, or that particular run of comic books, is supposed to be stellar. I haven't heard much about this, but this will be my jumping on point, and I'm very thankful for having this collected edition because I received it from Santa, so it was a nice gift from Santa. Thanks so much. And as with all things Absolute Editions, these are extra sized. These are the most premium editions that DC publishes. Much larger than your standard comic book, larger than your deluxe editions and omnibus. Whilst we're talking all things DC, I have here Batman Road to No Man's Land. This is the omnibus and it's nice and thick and chunky. This is one of a trilogy, I believe. There's No Man's Land Volume 1 and 2 that follows this one, and this is the lead up to it. So we got sad Batman on the cover, and this was also a gift from Santa. So I got absolutely spoiled this year, got two awesome looking collected editions from Santa. I hear this is one hell of an epic run, a really long one as well. So it collects issues from the Batman series, but from the detective series, pretty much from like the entire Bat family, because this talks about a massive catastrophic event that has happened in Gotham City that's basically destroyed the city, and there's chaos roaming the streets, and our heroes, they're trying to stop the chaos from spreading like wildfire. In case you're wondering what is in here, we've got Azrael, Agent of the Bat. Oh god, I miss seeing Azrael. I wish he had his own Omni. So issue 40, by the way, and 47 through to 50. We've got Batman 553 through to 562. Batman Arkham Asylum, Tales of Madness issue 1. Batman Blackgate, Isle of Men issue 1. Batman Huntress Spoiler, Blunt Trauma 1. Batman Shadow of the Bat 73 through to 82. Catwoman 56 to 57, Detective Comics 719 through to 722, and 724 through to 729, and Nightwing 19 through to 20, and Robin 52 to 54, and the Batman Chronicles 12, 14, and 15. Massive collected edition, and now you know why. Switching it up a little bit now with Marvel. This is the Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 3 Omnibus, written by Brian Michael Bendis. We've got artwork by Mark Bagley. This one like disappeared very quickly off the shelves. For whatever reason, it was sold out so fast. I think they're having a reprint, or maybe they already had a reprint, like a restock. It's crazy. I did not realize how popular the demand would be for this omnibus. I got pretty lucky when they did a mini restock. Will they do another one? Most likely, because it's so popular at the moment. I believe there are about 2 more volumes possibly following this, so it's your legendary Ultimate Spider-Man run. So the stories in here obviously don't take place on our own Earth, which is Earth 616 in the universe of Marvel Comics, but instead in Earth 161, the alternative universe of Marvel Comics. Absolutely fun run. Highly recommend to pick up the first volume if you haven't read any Spider-Man or you want to switch it up with Spider-Man. Plus also there's all this hype of this new Ultimate Spider-Man that's currently being written by Jonathan Hickman with the beautiful artwork by Marco Cecchino. Oh god, that, you know what really annoys me is that brand new run. It's so difficult to get issue 1. First printing sold out so quickly in the blink of an eye, I didn't get a chance to get one. Even though I pre-ordered, no chance of getting one. The second printing disappeared as well. well. Oh man, that sucks. And then the third printing is coming out shortly, so I really hope that I can get my hands on it, and I want to hear from you guys. Has it been so crazy and so difficult to get an issue of the new Ultimate Spider-Man comics? Let me know in the comments below, because I am so frustrated right now. Can't get my hands on any of these issues. It sucks. There really is no rhyme or reason to the order of these collected editions, so up next is Manifest Destiny, published by Image Comics. This is by Chris Dinges, Matthew Roberts, and Owen Janney. Honestly, don't know any of these creators, didn't even know that this was a thing, and it collects the Manifest Destiny issue 1 through to 24, first volume. I believe there's going to be 2 in total. I have had a look at some of the comic book reviews for this, and they've been exceptional. People have said some really positive stuff about this, and I love all things Image Comics, so obviously I had to pick this one up. And there's probably a pretty high chance that I'm gonna enjoy it. There's very few books from Image that I don't like. They've been on one hell of a run, giving us some excellent stories throughout the last decade, maybe even longer. We're back on the Marvel train with Daredevil. These are a couple of omnibuses written by Mark Waid with artwork from a whole bunch of different artists. These, oh my god, these sold out very quickly as well, and especially these covers. These are both direct market covers, and these are the ones that I really wanted, so it was very stressful and tricky to get these on release day. These are reprints, by the way, so very happy that the year of 2024 is a really strong year for reprints all around in Marvel Comics, and specifically for Daredevil. And I really think this has something to do with the Daredevil TV show that will be coming soon on Disney+. If you've seen the Netflix TV show, you know it's awesome, and I have high hopes that this one is going to continue and be freaking awesome as well. But I don't know, man. A lot of these Disney TV shows as of lately, Marvel ones especially, haven't been that good. They've kind of let me down. Apart from Loki. Loki was exceptional. Awesome. But anyway, Mark Waid is an awesome writer, and I heard that this run is a little bit more controversial. It's very different. It's very different to what people were used to with the preceding runs, that being the Ed Brubaker one, the Brian Michael Bendis one. So this really shook up the formula a little bit. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it either. The Daredevil that I have in my mind right now, it's the Chip Zdarsky one, so that's kind of the template or the foundation for me when it comes to Daredevil. Regardless, I love the character, and I'm sure I'm gonna have a lot of fun. Up next, we have another Marvel omnibus. This is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Now, this is a part of the Ed Brubaker run. In fact, it is the last one. It is volume 5 out of 5. Right now, I am reading the Ed Brubaker run. I am halfway through it. My first time ever experiencing this run, and I'm just so excited and filled with joy reading this thing, and I can't wait to put out a review for you guys. I'm very passionate about this run. I love it a lot, and I hope that it's consistent all the way through to the end. So far, nothing has let me down, and I've read 3 out of the 5 volumes. So happy I could pick this up, especially this cover. It's just dynamite. It's a gorgeous cover. I believe this is the Alex Ross variant. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, Alex Ross has done awesome artwork all the time for us, so we're absolutely spoiled. Here we have another very thick Marvel omnibus. This is Thor by Jason Aaron, Volume 2. If you guys have been following the channel, you know that I love the first volume. It is one of my favorite Marvel omnibuses to date, and I really hope that this second one here is just as strong, or maybe even better. This is the direct market cover by Oliver Quapel, I think that's how you pronounce his name. You guys have seen there's been a bit of a theme here with me getting the direct market covers. There's just something about them, you know, they've really sold me on those covers. Honestly, the OG cover is gorgeous as well, but it's just something about this close-up of the 2 Thors that really captured my attention. Once again, a nice big fat Omni, and you know there's a lot of comic book issues in here because Marvel tends to use the thinner paper and some epic gorgeous artwork on the back as well. By the way, if you've never read Thor comic books, I think this is a great way to start because me personally, I read a comic book here and there about Thor, and they just didn't really click with me. I thought they were very boring, they just were a little bit too wordy, they just really didn't get me. But this particular run by Jason Aaron, especially that first volume, hooked me from the very beginning and made me care about the character of Thor. And I hope that's the kind of feeling that you get jumping into this. We're back to DC again, and this is Batman Eternal by Scott Snyder and Jason Tynion, and we got Jason Fabok and Dustin Nguyen here as well. Those are the two artists that are jumping on the book. Love myself some Jason Fabok artwork, especially the Three Jokers that was written by Jeff Johns. Love that story, by the way, and I own the Absolute Edition. So seeing more Jason Fabok artwork is just going to make me extremely happy. I don't know much about this Batman Eternal run at all. I know it was during the era where we had the Batman 52, so it was around that time. As to why we had an additional run going side to side with the Batman 52, I don't know. But the matter of the fact is, you just can't go wrong with having some more Batman stories, especially if they're good, right? And I've heard some decent things about this omnibus. This is a reprint, and this is one that has been highly anticipated and highly wanted by a lot of readers, so I think it's still in print. If you're after it, check it out. Nice and thick. I love the DC builds. I find that maybe they're just a little notch higher than the Marvel Omnis. I find that Marvel Omnis do fantastic spines, but the paper isn't as great as it is in DC Comics and also Image Comics. Anywho, beautiful looking omnibus with an excellent looking spine as well. Back to Image Comics with a deluxe edition of The Savage Dragon. This is volume 2, written by Eric Larson with artwork by Eric Larson as well. I read the first collected edition. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Well, apart from the fact that there was gonna be some 90s fun, some guilty pleasure nostalgia, and it was pretty much that. It's a little bit obscene, it's a little bit like very hyper and all over the place, but I had a really good time. And because of that, I had to pick up the second volume. So I kind of know what I'm already jumping into, and I'm looking forward to experiencing more of that because it was a bit obscene, it was a bit crazy 90s stuff. If you guys are aware of 90s comic books, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is like to the extreme. And I really hope that they continue it because I know there has been a lot of comic book issues of the Savage Dragon so far. They're about issue 250 or 260 right now. For those that don't know what it is, well, I think the cover kind of sums it up. It's like this superhero guy who is a cop. He just punches his way through crime. It's just so much fun. It's definitely not something to take too seriously, and it's not very thought-provoking either. Hawkeye by Matt Fraction and David Ayer. This is the omnibus, definitely on the thinner side. This is a really small run, but it's definitely also one that inspired the Disney TV show, the Hawkeye one, which is actually pretty good. I very much enjoyed that, and I get the feeling that I'm going to enjoy this omnibus even more so. And I think that we need more Hawkeye stories followed by Hawkeye omnibuses, collected editions, because it's such an underused character. It's a really awesome character in the Marvel universe. And I'm just so surprised that in the DC universe, there's so many Green Arrow omnis and collected editions, whereas at Marvel, I feel like Hawkeye doesn't get as much love. So let's get some great writers and let's make some fantastic Hawkeye stories. My first Hawkeye Omni, and I think it's maybe the only Hawkeye Omni. I mean, let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong. This one collects that entire run, which is 22 issues, and we've got Annual 1, and we also have the Young Avengers Presents issue 6 as well. So it's a tiny one, well, 24 issues in total. I mentioned Chip Zdarsky before, and here we have The Devil's Reign. This is the event omnibus written by Chip Zdarsky with artwork by Marco Cecchedo, but also by others as well. This collects the entire run of that event. It's one of the better Marvel events that have come out in recent years, and I'm really looking forward to the Chip Zdarsky Daredevil omnibuses, which we're gonna have 2 of these hopefully released this year. That is what it's planned for, but you know what it's like. We could always just have some sort of a delay. So excited to check out this glorious artwork, and I never got to finish the Daredevil Chip Zdarsky run because I've been savoring it for a collected edition. I got about halfway, maybe 2/3 through the run, and I'm looking forward at finishing it and rereading most of it in an omnibus format. For those of you wondering, this particular collected edition has Devil's Reign issue 1 through to 6, Spider-Woman 18 and 19, the 2020 comic series, Daredevil Woman Without Fear issue 1 through to 3, Devil's Reign Superior 4 1 through to 3, Devil's Reign Villains for Hire 1 through to 3, Devil's Reign Winter Soldier, Devil's Reign X-Men 1 through to 3, Devil's Reign Spider-Man Moon Knight 8, Devil's Reign Moon Knight, and Devil's Reign Omega. What makes me a little bit sad about these particular events, these collected editions, is that the run is, well, it's not sequential in terms of when the issues were released. They pretty much stick in with their own runs side by side. So I believe Devil's Reign begins at the very beginnings of this Omni, and it's the first 6 issues, and then you're pretty much done with the event. And then you're reading these side stories, which are all the way at the end. I mean, that's the way that Marvel has chosen it, and that's fine, but it just seems a little bit weird. You know what I mean, right? Spider-Man by Ben Reilly. This is the first volume, so yes, I'm collecting the Clone Saga stuff, which is the Ben Reilly Volume 1 and 2 and the Clone Saga Volume 1 and 2. I've got Ben Reilly Volume 2 like behind me over there, the omnibus. This is the first one, and it's nice and big and chunky. Got reprinted recently. I recall them selling like quite quickly. I think it's because a lot of people wanted this. It was on like a wish list for a lot of people. And I have also heard that it's a run that's a little bit tiresome because it's just so much to take in. It's extremely long, but that's all right. I'm here for it. I'm here to experience all that Spider-Man magic where they're just going to milk the crap out of this, and it's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna have a lot of fun, guys. Hopefully. So, a lot of comic book issues, as I can see back here. Holy smokes. Close to 50 comic book issues of Spider-Man by Ben Reilly. Volume 1, it's gonna be a good time. Back to Image Comics, this is the deluxe edition, Volume 1 and 2 of Fear Agent, written by Rick Remender with artwork by Jerome Opena. Don't know too much about this particular run, but I do know that Rick Remender tends to do fantastic stories. Everything I have read from him so far has been an absolute blast, and I believe that perhaps this is one of his better work. Some people call it the magnum opus, and they have been waiting a long time for it to be reprinted. So I'm so happy that they finally got this back in print under Image Comics. I think originally it might have been under Dark Horse, and it's in this big, lovely format. Image Comics doing these deluxe editions are an absolute joy. Very premium, nice paper, very large. These are consistent with your absolute editions or your library editions. One of the bigger collected editions out there. Artwork looks absolutely stellar. I'm sure the story is gonna be a lot of fun. Rick Remender definitely has this tendency to get you as a reader to spiral into some really deep thoughts, and he puts in a lot of love into his writing. You can tell he really enjoys what he does, and he loves creating some thought-provoking comic books. So I'm all up for this. Now I gotta fit it somehow into my reading schedule, which is currently just really insane. Oh, and by the way, this is the entire run from my understanding, which is in these 2 volumes. Alright guys, you know what this is. This is the Invincible, the library editions. Just like those deluxe editions and the absolute editions, nice big formats. These are volume 2, 4 and 3, so 2, 3 and 4. Looking forward to get the first one that's being reprinted as well. Now I do have some of those ultimate editions or the deluxe editions, which are just a little bit smaller. I have from volume 1 through to 4, but I finally did it and I finally broke, and I just couldn't help myself myself to get these. These were on like a super duper special during the Christmas period. So I thought, okay, now's the time. I'm going to commit. I'm going to get the Invincible comic books in the most beautiful format. But what the hell is going on with these spines? I think because we had the continuation of Invincible recently, and these are the old printings, 2 and 3, and 4 is the new printing. I'm assuming that they will have a new printing of volume 2 and 3, which hopefully will fix the spines. Regardless, you know, I'm just gonna stick with this wonky looking format. I don't know, it just makes it look a little bit kooky, I suppose. Gives it some character, but really destroys the uniformity. That's fine, I don't care. I've got these lovely collected editions to really enjoy. Let me know if you like all things Invincible, with the second part of the second season coming out soon. I don't know what I should do first. Read the comics or watch the animated series. Something tells me that I'm going to lean towards more reading and trying to catch up with this as opposed to the TV show, and then I can look at the differences. We are almost there, guys. These are the Walking Dead, the omnibus editions, which is weird that they're called omnibus editions because they're the size of the library or the absolute editions. And they're nice little slip cases, as you can see there. The Walking Dead, also written by Robert Kirkman, who wrote Invincible. Absolutely loved the first volume that I got to read about a year ago, and now I have the first 4, which is half of the series. So I've got another 4 to collect before I finish this run, and I might have to do one hell of a binge run and then obviously talk to you guys about it to see how this story holds up today. Never really got to read it in full back in the day, only got maybe through about 20-30% of the run in total. So very excited to once again finish it in that particular gorgeous looking format. Black and white artwork for those that don't know, but still, it's Charlie Adler on the artwork. Fantastic to look at. It just looks great in black and white. Each of these collected editions collect about 24 issues. Alright guys, I promise you this is the last one, and this is Berserk, the deluxe edition. This is published by Dark Horse Comics, and this is my very first manga. This is gonna be my very first foray into the world of manga, which is crazy to think. I don't know what to expect, apart from the fact that you read it backwards. That is gonna break my mind a little bit. So going from right to left in both pages, but also like reading on the pages. So if you guys out there read manga, let me know what your experience was like, if you can remember it when you jumped into it. I'm a little bit scared because this is gonna potentially open up a whole new gateway of things that I want to read and I want to collect, and Berserk is supposed to be one of the best manga out there. So I've heard a lot of people get excited when they talk all things manga and they talk about Berserk. Now, just a little bit of info. This was a gift. This was a Valentine's gift from my lovely partner. She's extremely perceptive. She definitely got the hint that I started to get a little bit curious about all things manga, and she decided to get me my very first collected edition. So thank you so much for getting me this as a Valentine's gift. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it a lot. It's gonna get a bit of getting used to reading it from right to left. It's gonna be super weird, guys. But if you guys are all about manga out there, let me know, do you have any recommendations? Because if I love this, there's a good chance I'm gonna start looking and branching out, which is dangerous for me and my wallet, guys. And speaking of things, manga and anime and all of that, I've watched a bit of anime in my time, and I'm actually watching Chainsaw Man right now. I've started watching the first season. I'm a few episodes in. I love it. It's very unique. It's very different. The animation is so smooth and fluid, like holy hell. They've really stepped it up in the world of anime, because it's been a little while since I've watched some anime. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I would say for me was like the peak, was like the best anime I've ever experienced. Also, obviously back in the day, I loved watching Dragon Ball Z, Naruto as well, but never really got to finish Naruto Shippuden. But it was one hell of an awesome time. The memories in my mind are very, very positive. But I think that's about it, guys. Otherwise, I'm gonna be here talking about anime to you all day long, and all things comic books and whatnot, but this is the haul. This is the massive haul that I recently got in the last 3 months through gifts and through buying it myself on specials as well, because I'm trying to be crafty with getting the cheapest deals possible. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments below, would you love to own any of these collected editions? Are you guys big lovers and readers of manga? Let me know, I would love to know, and I'm sure you guys have a ton of recommendations that perhaps I might check out in the weeks, months, years to come. Until then, look after yourselves, have a fun time reading all things comics and manga and watching anime and playing video games or whatever it is that you love doing. And I will catch you guys next time. Bye bye.